In this video we need to talk about prompt engineering for AI agents and AI automation. Now, two things are important here. First of all, most of the time we are not really the end user. So prompting is always also something for the end user. If you use ChatGPT, you use prompt engineering for yourself. But as soon as you make applications, also for yourself, but especially for other people, you have to do the prompt engineering in one specific place. It's the system prompt. That's the only thing that you can always influence here. If you make these things for other people, you cannot influence what other people are typing in. So we will focus on the system prompt. This is really important. The stuff that other people type in your applications, you cannot really influence that. But of course, if you use this thing for yourself, you absolutely can influence them. But I will not go over every single prompt engineering technique in this course. I have already covered these techniques like in other courses, because we need to focus here explicitly on AI agents and automations. This is important. So prompting for agents. There are many prompting concepts and many of them are used by end users. However, when we create agents and automatizations, we are usually not the end users. Yes, we can be the end users, but we don't have to be the end users. That's why we need to focus on the concepts that we can control, namely the system prompt. Here are some important points for the system prompts in AI agents. We can start with the role prompting. Now, what's the role prompting? It's basically that we tell this thing what it's all about. For example, you are XYZ and your task is to do XYZ. So for example, you work for the company AI with Arnie and so on, just like you have seen in some previous videos. And then also this thing is important, define the tone and focus. We do this with the role prompting. Then we give some context. We can give more specific details. Then the instructions. Optionally with few-shot prompting. So few-shot prompting is simply that we give examples. So write a description for XYZ. Here is an example I like, yalla yalla. So this is just a blueprint that you can use, and don't worry, I will also give you a GPT later that you can use. Then we can define the tools. And here we define the tools that are available when they should be used. For example, a send mail tool. And we always tell the agent, use this tool to send emails. And we can also tell, for example, sign every email with Arnie. Then we can use, for example, the calendar set. Use this tool to book meetings in the calendar. So you see, you can always define all of these tools. Insert variables if necessary, so you can also insert, for example, the time or something similar. Then take a screenshot and explain to ChatGPT what you want to do. You can also simply make screenshots of your applications. Don't worry, I will show you in this video how to do that. Then you can use my prompting GPT for a rough template. I will also show you how we built this prompting GPT. You should absolutely keep your prompt short to avoid unnecessary tokens. Your system prompt will always get sent to OpenAI or to the system. And if this thing is like enormously long, you will have a lot of tokens, and a lot of tokens are expensive over time. For complex tasks, you can eventually add the chain of thoughts at the end, so you can simply type in think step by step or something similar. It's mostly not needed if you use models that have test time computes, or for example DeepSeek R1 or OpenAI O1 or O3 Mini or Claude 3.5 Sonnet, let's just say 3.7, not 5, Sonnet with thinking. So every model that can think, maybe also the Grok models, the Grok 3 models, models that have test time compute, here you do not need to have this. Then also something that is really important, you should use Markdown for the formatting in your system prompt. This works a little bit better. Markdown is relatively easy. The top level always starts with this thing right here. Second level, the same thing, but twice this thing. And the third level, you simply do it like this. You can go on with these. Then you can highlight important information with asterisks like these. Let's just use them here. So for example, something like this. You can use bullet points, and if you want to have separate sections, you simply use this right here. Of course, let ChatGPT generate your prompts into Markdown if you are not able to do this, so just simply write your prompt and tell ChatGPT make Markdown out of these. Then emphasize particularly important things sparingly. And not every concept needs to be included. Keep the system prompt as short as possible. So these are just some rough guidelines. And now we simply make a GPT together so that you can see like how this could look and how also a GPT can help us with these. Before we make our GPT, I just want to show you an agent that I have built out in German. And here this AI agent has also a system prompt, and a good system prompt would look something like this. So we give a role, we tell him how he should behave, we can give date and time, and this is now, don't worry, we will do this later step by step. Then we give the tools, and that's basically it that we do right here. So it's short, it's concise, and this is for a gigantic agent, so you do not have to overdo it completely. Let's just go into ChatGPT. I go on to my GPTs. If you have a ChatGPT Plus subscription, you can make this GPT yourself. If you do not have this, you can simply use my GPT. I will give you the link to it. We press create a GPT. Now we need to give a name, a description, the instructions, and then I also want to upload some knowledge, so this thing works a little bit better for us. I just call this thing AI Agent System Prompts. And the description is helps create system prompts for AI agents with tools. Then I want to include a good system prompt, so some instructions. This is also a system prompt, but in this case for our GPT. I simply insert this right here and you see this is in Markdown. Also here we start with the role prompting. You are a specialized AI assistant for system prompt engineering. Your output is always in Markdown. Your task is to generate optimized system prompts for AI agents that handle specific automation tasks. Important, if any information is unclear or incomplete, always ask targeted follow-up questions before getting the system prompt. Then we simply do this right here for a little bit more structure. Follow-up questions for the user, so if it's not, for example, clear. If not all relevant details are provided, ask specifically. So you can simply use this GPT later. Which AI agent should be the prompt in control? So customer service bot, email assistant and so on. What's the agent's main task? Is there any preferred tone? Which tools should the agent be able to use, if any? Should the agent generate example outputs? If yes, what type? Yeah, we do not really need to have this, so we can also delete this eventually. Then the role for the system prompt creation. Define role and context. Start with the AI agent's role. You are role name. And your task is to add background information, so for example the audience, the style and the tone. Then specify context, ensure the agent knows all relevant information, mention any external data sources, for example API accesses, provide clear instruction, specify the described output format, always Markdown, use few-shot prompting, if example helps. We can also delete this right here. I don't think this is really necessary. Then define tools and function. List all the available tools with the names and the usage scenario. So send mail tool, use this tool to send emails. If no tools are provided, ask the user for a list. Then improve formatting and readability. Use Markdown, of course. And here we simply give a few examples, but normally ChatGPT knows how to use Markdowns. Maximize efficiency, avoid unnecessary tokens, so keep system prompts as short as possible, optimize prompts for brevity and efficiency, always output response in Markdown. A sample prompt is included in your uploaded knowledge, we will do this right now. And also this, you always respond in Markdown. This is important because I had some problems with this GPT from time to time. So I think this is a good system prompt. Now we want to upload the knowledge. So also here we have direct technology. And in the knowledge, I simply give this right here. So role, you are an assistant with access to multiple tools. Behavior, you respond concisely, friendly, and so on. Then the date and time I want to include is now. Then we have the tools, here for example a Gmail summary, Gmail send, calendar set, calendar get, and a research agent. And that's basically it. So this is the example that I want to upload here. So I simply press upload files and I include this example system prompt. We do not want to have web search, Canvas, and also not DALL-E. So we have a simple GPT created with a good system prompt with some knowledge, and this thing will help us create system prompts for our AI agents. As soon as I press create here on the left corner, anyone with a link can access this so that also you can use this. I press save. I will copy this link and share it with you, but first let's just view this GPT. And then we can simply ask this GPT for system prompts. I have an agent that is for customer support. It has a vector database with a Q&A for my online shop where I sell Max. The agent responds short and helps the end user to find the right Max, for example. Now we send this out. And here we get our optimized system prompt, and you see it, we get it in Markdown. So you can simply copy this thing and use it, of course, into your system prompt as soon as you create an agent. Of course, this will not be completely perfect. Of course, you can update this yourself a little bit, but this will give you a good structured output, and you can play with the system prompt later a little bit more yourself if you really need to. So let's just see how this works. Role, you are a customer support AI for online Mac shop. Your job is to assist and find and so on. This looks really good, and it also has access to a vector database. Perfect. Then the behavior, shortly and clearly, guide users towards the best products, keep it concise. Then the knowledge base, you have a vector database, always retrieve and use the most relevant information when answering. Response styles, short and direct and friendly. Example responses, users, do you have Max with cat designs? And the AI tells us, yes, we have several cat, Max, and so on. You can check them here. Yeah, let's just see. This is maybe not the best answer. It depends, of course, on the application that you built. But if you include links, of course, you can totally do this. And if not, you can simply delete this. Are your Max dishwasher safe? Yes, it is. I need a gift mug and so on. This seems to be completely perfect. Let's just do another thing. I included a send mail tool. Give me the new system prompt. Once again, the role, the behavior, the knowledge base. Then we have the tools. We have the send mail tool. Use this tool when a user requests order confirmation and so on. Ensure the email is clear and so on. So this seems to be completely perfect. You can make your system prompts with these. And of course, you always need to update this so that this thing is perfect for you, but this thing can absolutely help you. Let's assume that you are in a new chat and you give a simple prompt like this. I need a system prompt for my agent. If you send this out, normally this agent should know that this is not enough information. So this GPT will ask you, what is your agent main task? What tone should it use? Which tools should the agent have access to? So let's just say it is a personal assistant, speaking or casual, and let's just say access to calendar management and research tool. And let's just send this out. Now we get, of course, our system prompt in Markdown. Role, you are a professional assistant designed to help manage, schedule and find information. So you see the system prompt gets, of course, perfectly used for our tools that we have access. So calendar and research. And that's why, of course, this system prompt is perfectly for these tools. Then the behavior, casually and naturally. Friendly assistant who makes life easier, clear to the point and helpful. Then you see the date and the time is of course now. This is also important, but more on that later. Then the tools that we have a calendar set tool, a calendar get tool, and the research agent, and then some guidelines, and that's basically it. And this thing down here, we can delete this. So you can absolutely delete this last part, but there you have a really good system prompt. Now I want to show you how you can upload a screenshot, and also the screenshot will help you generate better system prompts. Let's just say you have this AI agent and we want to make a screenshot from this agent. So I simply screenshot it right now. Now I have my screenshot and I save it and I tell ChatGPT something like this. I have this agent, look on the picture and give me the perfect system prompt. We observe this picture and we send it out. And here we have the system prompt, role, behavior, memory usage. You have a Windows buffer memory. You would not really need this. You can also delete this stuff here. Then the tools, it sees that we have the Gmail send tool and it tells when to use this tool. Then some example responses. You need to understand that right now we use, of course, also the previous context. So if you want to start fresh with this AI agent, of course, you need to use a new chat. So you press here, you take a new chat. And you can also upload this for yourself once again. So in this chat you are completely unbiased. Give me a system prompt for the agent on the picture. So right now we are fresh, we have not the old context included. And here we get the system prompt for the agent. And maybe you also see that we have a little bit of a problem right now. We did not get Markdown. This stuff can happen from time to time. LLMs are not perfect. Remember, I need Markdown. And right now we have our system prompt also in Markdown. So this thing can help you, guide you in the right direction. Generally speaking, once again, what is the most important thing here? The most important thing is that you understand these basics for yourself. You should start with a role. You should give some context. You can give examples with the few-shot prompting if needed. You don't have to do this. Then you need to define the tools. For example, the send mail tool, use this tool to send emails. You can insert variables, for example the time, if it's necessary for your agent. You can take screenshot and explain ChatGPT what you want to do. You can use My Prompting GPT for a rough estimated prompt. You should keep it short, so also try to delete stuff from ChatGPT if it's not really needed. You can include things step by step if your agent is really big and has a lot of stuff. And of course you should use Markdown. And please keep your stuff as short as possible. So right now you are a pro in system prompts and you have a rough estimate with this GPT how you can form them a little bit better. Because over the next videos we will create more agents that are also later a little bit bigger. And here you will see how I make system prompts, and I want you to understand why I make them the way I make them. We use Markdown. We only use the lines that are needed, so we make it as short as possible, and we list and define the tools that the agent has access to. So congratulations, you are a pro in system prompts.